Good morning, everyone. Hello and welcome to today's session. You are at Getting Started with Cambridge with Supermind. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kate Trafford. It is lovely to be with you here today. If you want to, pop a quick hello in the chat box and perhaps say where you're from, where you're joining us from this morning, and maybe a little bit about what you're teaching as well. What age groups are you teaching? Lovely to have you all with us this morning. Hello from Spain. Hello, Nikane. Good morning from Sicily. Hi, two from Italy. Good morning. Lovely to have you with us today. Good morning. Okay, we've got Spain and Italy so far. Fantastic. Hi there, Daniel. Hi there, Marta. Hi, Lucia. Fantastic. Hi, everyone. Well, my name is Kate. I am one of the professional learning and development trainers here in Cambridge, Iberia. I am based down in Malaga in Spain, if any of you know it. But we work with everyone around Italy and West Europe. So it's lovely to have you here with us this morning. Good morning. Hi, everyone. We're just going to let everyone join in. The attendees are creeping up. So we're going to give you a couple of minutes for everyone to come in. Meanwhile, pop a little message about who you teach as well. 8-year-olds, fantastic. Yes, obviously Superminds is our young learners course, but perhaps you teach other year groups as well. Perhaps you're teaching, I don't know, maybe a couple of the younger years in secondary perhaps as well. Fantastic. Good morning, everyone. Excellent. As they come in, good morning, good morning. Young learners as well from France. Bienvenue. Good morning. Excellent. Lovely. We have Aurélie in the chat, as you'll be able to see. Please feel free as we go through to this session. I will be asking lots of questions and getting you as involved as possible. So please write all of your thoughts, suggestions, and ideas in this chat box. And then you also have the question and answer section on Zoom as well for more specific questions that we can answer at the end of the presentation. Fantastic. Okay, well, I'm going to get started then. So just another very warm welcome to everyone. It's great to have you with us this morning. So my name is Kate Trafford. I'm one of the professional learning development trainers at Cambridge University Press and Assessment. Today you have joined the Superminds session, and we'll be talking you through all of the support available from Cambridge online and also specifically for Superminds. Okay, so before we get started then, just a reminder that you will receive your certificates for this session, so your attendance certificate, and also a recording of this session in a follow-up email. As I mentioned, please do feel free to message as you're currently doing in the chat. The more that we can participate and learn from each other, the better we can share best practice. Fantastic. So what we will be looking at today then, firstly, is we're looking at the Cambridge support on offer. So a lot of it is all about online resources and what you have at your fingertips readily available to support your classroom practice. Then after that, we'll be looking at a unit walkthrough of Superminds, taking you through the pattern of what the typical unit would look like and what you will find. Then at the end, we will have questions and answers. Fantastic. I will be monitoring the chat as we go through, and so will Aurélie, just in case you have any questions. So we are still in September, and we know that the beginning of the academic year is a really good opportunity for us to establish rapport and relationships, whether that be with new students who have joined us in our school or existing students that perhaps we have been teaching for a number of years. It's a good opportunity for us to set up new routines and rules, talking about the environment that we have in our classroom. It's also a really good opportunity for us to share the learning goals, to motivate and to engage our learners. Support is also very important at this time of year. Pupils could be coming in perhaps a little bit nervous from September, and they're there to come into our classrooms to feel warm, to feel welcomed, and to feel supported. Cambridge has lots of things on offer, which I'm going to take you through now to help support you with all of these aspects for the beginning of the new year. So firstly then, we're going to take a look at how to make the most of the website. Now here on the website, you have plenty of blog posts and activity booklets to download as PDF. Now the blog post, Worlds of Better Learning, that is all about latest pedagogical research. It's about top tips for teaching young learners and a range of activities as well. Okay, so if you want to, as we go through, you will receive a link in the chat box here. Just click on the link. It will take you out of the Zoom, and then what I recommend is that you bookmark it and that you save it for future reference. Now, if you're not able to do that, do not worry, because in the follow-up email, we will also be sending out these links. But if you would like to bookmark it now, then you can save it for later. So we have our blog posts, and we also have the Cambridge Life Competencies Framework. Now, some of you may have heard of that, and I'm going to take you through now the PDF that you are able to download. Now, what is really nice about this PDF and all of the PDFs that you can download from this website is that you can save it to your team, your English department team, whether it's a shared folder, whether it's in department meetings, and you're able to share it, and you're able to start a discussion with your colleagues about best practice in your context using some of the PDFs that are readily available to download. So the Cambridge Life Competencies Framework then is a skills-based competencies framework, as you can see here. It is broken down into life skills that we know that young learners will need to thrive once they have left us after their school life. So it's broken down into creative thinking, critical thinking, learning to learn, communication, collaboration, social responsibilities, and emotional development. Now, we know that we can develop these skills within our classroom as they also develop them outside of the classroom as well in their own personal lives. Now, how can we then practice these in the classroom? Well, you can download these easily accessible PDF activity cards. Now, they're broken down into different activities per competence. So for this one here, if I just grab my laser for you, show you, this one we are specifically looking at learning to learn. And then if you go to the yellow, it gives you more detail. This is reflecting and evaluating on my own learning. So this is a task that you could do, an activity called task completion scale. It's perhaps something that they could do at the end or at the beginning even of a unit. And it's a bit of a self-reflection. So it's down here. I didn't do very well in this task, and they'd be able to color in that part of the arrow. And then at the beginning, sorry, the other end, I did this task really well, and they can color it in. Now, to make this a little bit more challenging, they would have to provide evidence of what they did to support why they have given that particular part of the arrow. Okay, they can also ask themselves different types of questions. Okay, how have I managed to get here? What am I going to do next to improve? Other types of activity cards then, this one here, we have social responsibility, and the activities are necessities and luxuries, map of the world, and group circles. So there are lots of different, really easy, low prep activities for you to pick out and just to add in your lessons to really help them develop these life competencies. Furthermore, we also have the PDF booklet ready to download, Classroom Warmers Activity Booklet. Again, this one here is full of really quick, easy, low prep activities for you to put into your classroom. Now, why these are really great is because they are, as I said, low preparation. So it's not like you need to spend hours, creating a resource or anything like that. No. If you realize that, for example, in one of your lessons that they're really finding spelling challenging, then you can go to this booklet, have a quick flick through to see what activity you could work on with spelling. And here, for example, we've got anagrams, and we've got a variety of different ways that you could introduce anagrams in your classrooms to help support spelling. So again, I recommend that either you download it and print it off, and maybe if you're lucky enough, you have a department area perhaps, or if not, you can just keep it for yourself and share it with other people in your department, or have it on your shared folder online to have readily accessible. We also have available to buy from the Cambridge shop this book that I highly recommend. It's Carol Reed's 101 Top Tips for Teaching Primary Children. So it's simply 101 activities, again, low preparation, quick and easy to put into the classroom, just to refresh your classroom ideas. This one here that we are taking is an aspiration tree. So as you can see, it's made up of love hearts, leaves, handprints, and it says one thing that you would like to achieve in English this year. So each student gets a different type of paper design. They can choose what kind of design that they would like, and they write down what they would like to achieve. Then it can be displayed all together in the shape of a tree on the display board in the classroom. This really creates a sense of collaboration, community in the classroom, and it gives them a visual reminder of what they're striving to throughout the year as well. Now, it is available to buy, but I will give you a bit of a cheeky secret, is that you can get the first chapter for free on this link here, okay? So you can have a little read, see if they're going to work for you, and if you want to read the rest, then you have it there available to buy, okay? Fantastic. Okay, so now we're going to move on from the website, and we're looking now at Cambridge 1. Now, I'm just going to ask you very quickly in the chat box, please could you just let me know, have you ever used Cambridge 1 before? Have you got access to it yet? Have you seen it? Yes, yes. Okay, good. Lots of yeses. Fantastic. Lovely. Okay. So I'm hoping then that you have already signed up and you have got your activation code and you've got your classes ready to go. If you haven't, don't worry. I see a few of you have saying not yet. You will need to get your teacher book, and inside the first page, you will see a gray excuse me, activation code that you need to scratch off, and you will need that to sign up and activate your materials. So what is Cambridge 1 for those people who don't know about it? It is an online platform where you have everything all in one place. So you have your teacher's book, your activity book, you have your student's book, etc. Okay, everything is there for you. You have interactive, you have your interactive whiteboard display book or ebook even. You have your test generator, everything I'm going to take you through, but it's all in one place on Cambridge 1. So if you haven't used it before, it's going to become your best friend, okay? Age appropriate, okay, because students can they can access it on their phones or on their iPad or their parents' laptop at home, or if you're lucky enough in your center or in your school to be able to use laptops or tablets, then they can access it like that. And then data you can trust here. You can access the results from students. You can access how many activities they have done, and you can also assign them activities, which is really good as well. So this is Cambridge 1 then. You have to log in with your either personal or school email. Then once you have activated your book from the activation code from your teacher's book, you will find that you have your library here in My Classes, My Library, and My Training. And in My Library, you have the courses that you have activated. So in this case, Supermind. Okay. When you then click on the course material, you will find the following. You will find that you can, oh, here we go. First one, interactive ebook, is Presentation Plus. You'll then find interactive practice per unit on Practice Extra. Okay, so this is where you can, it literally says what it does. It's extra practice for the student. Again, you can assign them activities for them to do, and you'll be able to analyze their data. Then you have the test generator. Now, this is a fantastic tool. It really is. If you have not used it before, I think, don't fall off your chair just yet because of how good it is, but you'll never have to make a test or an assessment from scratch again. Test generator, you can either download pre-made assessments per unit, or you can create your own by selecting your own different questions, and it generates a test for you with the answers and with the audios, the listening sections as well. So that is test generator. You will need to download it on your laptop, on your work laptop. So if you have any trouble doing that, do contact your school IT administrator, and they should be able to help you. Okay. Then teachers' resources, we have printables and external links. So downloadable worksheets that you can use. And then the external links, which is really exciting, you have links to a Kahoot or several Kahoots per unit. So we know how much they love a Kahoot or a Blooket, for example. So you have ready-made Kahoots based on the language that we have in Superminds. Okay, and then we have another interactive ebook. Okay. Sabine, thank you for your question. Does it have to be the teacher's book or can it be the student's one? It will work either way, but the teacher's book you get access to on the, where it says here, Presentation Plus. With the teacher's code, you will get access to the teacher's book, the activity book, and the student book. But with the student's activation code, you'll only get access to the student's book, not the teacher's book as well. Okay, that's why we recommend that you have the teacher's book code. Okay, if you do not have a teacher's book, then get in contact with your local ELT consultant, and they'll be able to help you out there. Okay, thank you for your question. Okay, so now that we've moved into my training, here, these are really good self-study modules available on Cambridge One. So firstly, it's how to use Cambridge One. So we've just looked at a very brief overview of what is available, but if you want to go in more detail, then you can go here and it tells you what are the, the little tips and tricks that you can do for Presentation Plus, how to use the digital workbook, etc. Specifically then for Superminds, so we are looking today at Superminds in the second part of this session, but if you want to go back and do further study, this here will take you through step by step how to use Superminds and what it's all about. So essentially this session, but ready for you to do a self-study module should you wish to. And then finally, we have some professional development. So these are between 2 to 4 hours. Some are free, some are you have to pay for. But if you would like a little bit of extra CPD, giving feedback, managing behavior, you have all of those available in the My Training session as well. Fantastic. Okay, so we've looked at what's available on the website. We've looked at Cambridge One, and now we're going to have a look at resources to support the exam journey. So even if you are a school that doesn't prepare students yet for the exam, that's totally fine, because some of the exam, the free exam support available on the website to download is just there to reinforce and to support learning in general, but it is exam specific, obviously. So we know that the exams support the 4 skills of language learning, reading, listening, speaking, and writing, and you can download these PDFs from the website. So we have, for example, a word list here. We have all of the different levels, by the way. It's not just A1, this is just to show you. These are the types of vocabulary expected, learners are expected to know and to be able to use at pre-A1. Then we have exam style posters to download for you to display in your classrooms. Now, these are really nice because obviously it's a great visual. And down the bottom here, I'll zoom in for you. But it says things your teacher may say. So it has vocabulary that you as a teacher can use as command words repeatedly so that they tune in their ear and that they know what you're saying. So they're listening to what you're saying, and they also can read it on the poster in the classroom as well. Equally, things that you may say at school, you can encourage the students to be using, full sentences, correctly formed questions, and if they, may forget perhaps how to form it, you can refer them over to the poster on the wall. Okay, so these are all available for you to download as well. Okay, we've got further classroom activities to help support exams. Now, if you see this monkey here, the monkey signifies that is something to do with exams. Okay, so that is, you will see the monkey, and you'll also see a star later on as well for the older levels, the A2, the pre-A1 and A1, you'll see the monkey. Okay, fantastic. We also have lots of support available for personalized learning as well. So you will have, we all have students who have a specific learning difficulty, and then we need to be able to support them so that they make progress in their own way. We've got lots of tips. We've got information about what specific learning difficulties mean and what that looks like in different learners, and then activities on how you can support them so that everyone in the class makes as much progress as they can. Fabulous. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at then the activities for developing sustainability skills. So the word sustainability then, what do you think of when you think about sustainability in the English classrooms, in your English classroom? Would you mind having put a word or a phrase in the chat box? What does sustainability mean to you in the English classroom? Recycling, eco-friendly, being environmental, excellent. And why then should we bring it into the classroom? Why is it important that we're talking about sustainability in the classroom then? It's about being social. Yeah, not printing too much, definitely. Good. Okay, so why are we talking about sustainability? Why is it such a big buzzword at the minute? So thank you, Romana, to foster attention towards a sustainable future. Definitely, to get them engaged, to make our students conscious about the planet. Thank you, Abel. Yes, definitely. All of these things. And we know that our students, our young learners especially, are very involved and want to be involved in their future. Okay, so as I just said, they play an active part in society. They want to feel connected to the world around them. It's a way of using English in a meaningful and contextualized way. Development of life skills, so relating directly back to our life competencies framework. It's about developing their skills for the future. English as a shared language in global discussions, so it's really good as well to be able to pick out, vocabulary that they see in, world discussions, some, governmental summits, etc., and bring that into the classroom. And then finally, in some cases, it may be just an institutional requirement. You may have to do it in your curriculum by force. However, we know that all of the other reasons are just as valid, and that young people want to feel connected to their planet and to each other. So how can we then at Cambridge support you in your classroom with ELT? Well, we have the sustainability framework. This is divided into knowledge, values, innovation, and transformation. And what we offer is the young learner activity card for the sustainability framework. Now, for example, when we take knowledge, the strand of knowledge, the activity cards, again, very similar to the activity cards we looked at before, will give you very quick, low prep ideas for you to build sustainability into your classroom. So for knowledge, we have finding connections within and between systems. So this is developing their understanding of different sustainable aspects. We've got values, so showing empathy and compassion for all forms of life. Transformation, promoting social inclusion, and finally, innovation, imagining alternative futures. So all of these here will help bring sustainability to life in your classroom. Again, you may already have projects developed with, for example, geography or history or another subject. And you could also, if you're at a bilingual school, for example, you could you can do cross-curricular work with sustainability in the English classroom and, in the Spanish or Italian or French geography classroom as well. So last thing that I would like to show you then in the support section for Cambridge before we move on to Superminds is about AI. Now, this is another big word that we know has hit us very quickly in the world of education. So one word, please, or phrase about how you feel about AI. What does that word conjure up for you? AI may be of great help, but also dangerous. Intelligence killer. Oh, wow. Okay, Annalise, for lost with caution. It's not sustainable. Worried. Yeah, definitely. That is definitely a sense of the unknown, isn't it? We're not sure what's going on. It's changing the whole time. Yes, of course, there are positives such as it's super time saving. It's very powerful, double-edged sword. Yes, exactly. May feel challenged. Okay, so it's something new. Perhaps, yeah, it perhaps may dull, critical thinking skills. It may take away creativity. All of these things, yeah, we just don't know right now how, what's going to happen. But don't worry because we do have some resources to support you. So here we have the Generative AI Idea Pack for English language teachers. So this here is a whole range of guidance for you based in three different ways. So the first form of guidance is how to develop it in the classroom. So how to get your students and young learners starting to talk about digital literacy and being safe as well in the classroom and that sort of protecting yourself as well. So that's the digital classroom. Then we have the digital world. So this is more about knowledge, about developing understanding. So this one here is information management. And then finally, then perhaps this is the most important for us, is the digital teacher. So improving language proficiency. And this is all about developing our understanding as a teacher of what we can be doing and what is the most important thing that we should be doing right now and developing our understanding so that perhaps we feel more confident teaching it in the classroom. Okay. So that is everything that we have so far this morning on the support section. So that is the resources you can download. It is resources, it's the exams, it's Cambridge One, etc. So now we're going to move on to Superminds. But I will just give you a minute in the Q&A section if you want to. If you have any questions about what we have just looked at, I'll give you a minute now to write them in there, and then we will start on Superminds in 1 minute time. If you want to look at anything specific in Superminds as well, drop a message in the chat box about something specific you are looking to get out of this Superminds section, and I will try to make sure in this section that we cover everything that you need. Okay, Karen, no worries. You will get the link to the YouTube video, so you'll know just to go halfway, and you'll be able to watch the Supermind section. Okay, thanks, Karen, for joining us so far. Christina, you will get an email with the link. Okay. All right, so let's move on to Superminds then. So, well, I've just seen your message now. Tips on how to get students to work in pairs. Oh, that's a great question. Okay, well, let's definitely look at that. Thank you. Okay, so Superminds. To learn English is to enjoy and experience a language that opens up opportunities across the world. We believe that language is at the heart of being human, and English can unlock a lifetime of experiences. We help individuals everywhere connect, communicate, and come closer together. Now, this framework and sort of value statement underpins the foundation of Supermind. Okay, it's all about connection and getting experiences. Okay, so it's opening up opportunities, and you'll see as we go through Supermind, you'll see all of the different adventures that the characters go on. You'll see the experiences that they're having, and it's essentially a very adventurous book that is helping young learners connect with each other and connect with the world around them. So a quick sort of breakdown of the key points then. So there are 7 levels to, 7 levels. We've got the beginner level and then levels 1 to 6. By the end of it, they should be at B1 level. It's roughly 5 hours or more a week. Obviously, that is totally depending on your context. So it depends on how long your lessons are, how much time you have in the timetabled week. If you have extra clubs, all of that is completely dependent on your context, okay? But we do say 5 or more hours a week. There are 9 units per level, and each unit is a 12-page structure. So I'm going to be saying this phrase, a unit pattern, quite a lot. And when we talk about the pattern, it's this 12 pages. It's the 12-page pattern that repeats in each unit. Now, I've included this little picture here because I think it's quite a nice way to introduce the core values and the concepts of Superminds. So it says here, meet the explorers. I'm just going to zoom in for you, actually. Here we go. Meet the explorers. Meet Ben and Lucy, the explorers. These 2 friends and their dog, Buster, find lost treasure and give it to museums. Their lives are very exciting. Today, they are starting a new adventure. They are in a castle. They are looking for an old book. The book tells the secret of some lost treasure, but they are not the only people looking for the book. ... Okay, so this sort of opens up. As you can see, it's very adventure. It's almost video game-like. Okay, you can see from the animations that it's quite video game, not quite Minecraft that the young learners might be playing, but very similar to that. Okay, so they already feel very hooked and engaged with the characters and the concept of the book, of this sort of adventure mission-based video game learning. Okay, so that's just a little bit about what the style of the book as we go through. So key features of the course then. We have relatable characters who enjoy the adventures. Throughout the modules and the units, you will see there's lots of songs and chants. So you will find yourself, I am sure of it, driving home, humming along to some of the chants, cooking your dinner, and you'll be chanting away with some of the songs. There are lots of interactive and engaging projects and activities. We're going to be looking at something called the portfolio specifically, which is at the end of every unit, which is really exciting. We have the CLIL, so the cross-curricular content as well to link it to other subjects, skills practice, and of course, a rich and comprehensive English language syllabus. So let's take a look at the characters that you will find in the book. So at levels 1 and 2, you will find Whisper, he talks to animals. Flash, he can run as fast as light. Thunder, he's superhero strength. And Misty, who can turn invisible. Now, I'm going to show you the characters throughout all of the different books, but as we go through, I would like you to think, how can we make these characters come alive in your classroom? How can we get the young learners in our classroom to empathize and to connect with the characters that we have? As we go through, if you want to pop some answers in the chat box, feel free. Equally, if you just want to self-reflect, that is also completely fine. So at levels 3 and 4, we then have Ben and Lucy and Buster. That's who we just had a look at in the little section before. And then in 5 and 6, we've got Alex, Patrick, and Phoebe. Okay, you'll be able to see as well that the characters are growing throughout the levels. So here they're a lot more, they are older and more mature as they reflect the growing age and maturity of our young learners as well. Okay, so those are the characters. do you have any ideas now of how you can bring these characters to life in your classroom? Any way of getting them to relate? I'll go back to this one here because this one, obviously at the beginning, if you're going to be using super minds from, starting at level 1 and then going up to level 6, these are the first characters that will be introduced to. Something, that I like to do is, you can assign a particular character to a certain group of students, and then they can start to think about the character by writing, do some creative writing. What would Misty do in this situation? And you can give them some role plays. Romana, you said for young learners, talk about who's got similar eye color, hair color, good, so they can start to identify, with physical appearance, or they can maybe even identify in levels 1 and 2 with the superpower that they have. If you had a choice, would you have superhero strength like thunder, or would you run as fast as light like Flash? Okay, and then they can sort of pick their character that they identify most with. Okay, so those are the characters that are there for you. And now let's have a look then at a unit. So as I said, we're going to be looking at the pattern that is reflected throughout all of the levels, and the sort of typical thing that you will find in each unit. So at the beginning, you have the scope and sequence, the map of the book. This will take you through sort of a breakdown of the planning. If you are looking for further planning on Cambridge 1 in the teacher's resources, you can download the planning program on a Word document. But this essentially is what is going to give you your most planning information, and you can use that to create your own planning according to your context and how many hours of English you have in a week. Then let's break it down. Then let's look at this unit pattern. So the first lesson is going to be the key vocabulary being introduced. And then lesson 2 is the first bit of grammar being introduced through a story and the introduction of the big question. Now, the big question is all about pre-learning, developing curiosity, and it flows through the whole unit as they start to really be inquisitive about this big question, and you can refer to it throughout. Lesson 3, you have the songs. So again, we're going to have a look at a really exciting karaoke activity that you can do with the song. And then you have the second grammar section or second language section. Lesson 5 is the story, and then we have the phonics, so developing their ability to understand sounds and letters. It's not just about pronunciation when we talk about phonics, but it's developing their linguistic skills. Then we have a further story here. So now we're looking a little bit more at literature than the previous story that was mainly focusing on vocabulary. And we have the skills pages, so looking at developing life skills. We've got Think and Learn, again, looking at life skills, and then the cross-curricular CLIL pages. And finally, we have the portfolio at the end, which again is all about developing competencies. It's all about developing independent thinking, critical thinking skills, etc. So that is your overview. And what we're going to do now then is zoom in to each section and have a look how we can pull apart and really expand on some of the things that are, that we have going on. So expanding on the video, expanding on the song, etc. I'm just going to have a look at Daria's question here. Is Superminds adapted for children with dyslexia and dysgraphia? Yes, of course. So it is broken down into very sort of small chunks. As you'll see as we go through, I'll zoom in on each section. But yes, it is totally accessible. Perhaps if you have a child who is a bit overstimulated with color, you can buy color or color blocker sheets that they could put over the textbook to sort of dim down the color if that was something that was a bit too much for them. But otherwise, with dyslexia, it's broken down very much step by step. And you have all of the support as well available that we looked at earlier that you'll get the link to in the follow-up email to help support you with other ideas. Okay, but thank you for your question. Okay, so let's have a look then at lesson number 1. So we said we've got key vocabulary being presented, excuse me, here in the opening illustration, we have the big question here. So here, what is in the sea? So again, we can have a look at the picture and they could be, they are matching the vocabulary to the pictures, but also a bigger discussion about their understanding of the ocean, in a different context as well. So yes, you start with this picture, but it also is a springboard for further discussion about life in the ocean and perhaps changes in the ocean as well. You can link it to our sustainability framework. Think about how the ocean has changed, how sea life is changing because of plastics in the ocean. This here is meant to be the springboard for a wider discussion. Okay, and of course, in the introduction to inquiry-based learning that you'll see as we go through. Second lesson then, we have Greg the gecko, who's a great character. Look at him there. It is all about here contextualized language and contextualized grammar being introduced through the video. Okay. Now, Greg the gecko, you could get a little puppet or a little, cuddly toy of a gecko, and he can become, like the grammar mascot of the class to help students, just feel a little bit more comfortable when it comes to grammar. Although, in all of the Cambridge books, but specifically in Superminds, grammar is always being presented in a contextual, low stakes way, so that it's never scary in any way. Okay, now we've got the songs and the chants. So we see you can click on, when you're on Cambridge 1, you can click on this red button here, and you'll be able to see the video for the song and sing along with the learners on your big interactive whiteboard. Now, what I mentioned earlier is also on Cambridge 1, under the Teachers Resources section, under videos, you will find that there are karaoke videos for this. Okay, so you have the lyrics, but you don't have the song being played, and it's just a really fun way to get the learners, excited about learning it, and without even realizing that they've properly learned it because they're doing karaoke as a game. We've also seen it been done as a lip syncing contest as well. So again, a really good way to get them learning without even thinking about it. Okay, so you've got the karaoke videos there to download for you, and I highly recommend doing a lip syncing competition at some point as well. Then after you've learnt the song, we then have a secondary language and grammar focus. Again, we see Greg here, the gecko, our grammar gecko, talking about our language focus. At the bottom as well, you'll see throughout that you'll have this icon. I'll zoom in for you, and it's a shield with a C. Now this stands for the Cambridge Life Competencies Framework. So speaking specifically about the critical thinking, creative thinking, emotional skills, etc. And that particular activity will develop some kind of skill. Okay, you'll see it here. You'll see it here as well. Okay, all right. We've got it there for you, so you know that you're practicing your life skills as you go through. So now we have the story here. Now this is a really nice, I'll zoom in for you, a really nice way of listening to the story, or you could also, read it as a class together. If you have any strong learners, you could allocate a character to your strong learner, and they could be the character for the day. Equally, back to the question about reading in pairs, what you could do is read it as a class first, and then you could, assign in pairs, you're Lucy, you're Ben, and they have to read it in their pairs together. You can hear it, as I said, or you could read it as the class. This story then is based on the previous prior learning that we have looked at, developing the vocabulary and the grammar, so it's all included in the story here. And then we're also looking at the phonics, so practicing the reading out loud here. So here, okay, so practicing the phonics. In this particular section, we are looking at the SH and the S sound, okay, and that's a good practice. So what we're going to see as well is this S sound is about to be shown in the story here, and we're going to watch a video of this little bit of the story as well, okay? So not only can you play it, but there are also videos for the story that you can play the audio, but you can play the videos as well. So I'm going to show you an example of one of the videos, and in the chat box, I would like you to write down, what do you think is going to happen next? Now, this is an activity that you can do with your students as well. You can say, okay, we're going to get our crystal ball here. You know, if you have learners who are particularly theatrical, our crystal ball, and we're going to guess and predict, and you can hypothesize about, you know, the characters and get them talking in English. This bit, again, you can do in pairs, crystal balls in pairs, and then they can either present to the class or they can just keep it between themselves. So let's have a look at this video then.
I can't see a letter. Maybe the letter's in there.
Ah! Help, Lucy! I can't get my arm out. I'm stuck. Oh no! It's Horax and Zelda.
And a shark. I'm scared.
Come out, my beauty.
Okay. So that is our video there. We have seen, just going to go back for you. We have seen a couple of things happening with Horax, the shark, and Ben and Lucy. So what do you think then is going to happen next? And I will reveal the answer in 1 minute's time. Pop your answers in the chat box. Shark is going to help them. Okay. Good idea, Raquel. Thank you. So again, get the crystal ball out. Or they're going to have to fight the shark. I love it. Great idea. Thank you, Ola. Please do not give it away. They'll get closed in the cage. Oof, that'd be a nightmare. Try and eat them. Shark gets stuck in the shell. Love it. Thank you, Romana. Great linking to the phonics. Okay, I'll put you out of your misery then. What actually happens is they get help. Okay, they do get help from the octopus. Okay, so it's not quite as, you know, as doom and gloom of getting stuck anywhere or any fights happening. We do try and keep it nice and light and positive, but they do get help. Nearly, a dolphin nearly comes to help them, but no, it was the octopus. And there we go. Look, they're trying to find the letter S, and finally they work it out, which is there. Excellent. Okay, so you can see that's a really good way to get them, you know, really involved in the story and connecting with the characters. Okay, so we've looked at the phonics. Now we're moving on then to skills and values. So again, you can see up here, we have the Cambridge Life Competencies Framework icon, and we're developing it in our story. Now, the story here, as I said, is moving away specifically from vocab. It's looking more at sort of conceptual values-based learning, and it's developing their love of reading for pleasure. So we know that reading is so important at younger learners' ages because they are developing the skills that will help them. You know, reading helps writing, reading helps inform speaking, reading helps their vocabulary. It's so important that they love reading and that they read for pleasure. So hopefully this here is to inspire them to read different types of books. And if you can link it to perhaps a, you know, link it to a book that you're reading or that a book that you know that the students would like, then perhaps, you know, really to instill this love of learning. If you have a library as well, you could go down to the library, have a library session and read this page together, and then they can go on and read another book afterwards. Okay, so this is all about getting their love of reading. Okay, as I said, it's all about values-based in the story here. And then on the other page, we have extensive skills pages that give practice for listening, speaking, reading, and writing, while Storytime features the Storytime feature offers new extended reading text. Okay, so all of this here is available to further develop their linguistic skills. So now we have the CLIL project and Think and Learn. Now this one here, as you can see, I'll zoom in for you. you have the button here that you click when you're on Cambridge One, and it will take you to the video. This is a documentary style video that links it to the unit. Again, it's all about getting them thinking about the real world, and you can relate it. Again, you know, there are so many amazing documentaries on Netflix or on streaming websites that you can use that are English language, and you know, such as you've got March of the Penguins, you've got loads of David Attenborough documentaries which are incredible. So you can link them to sort of real life further watching and encourage them to get watching these further videos as well. Highly recommend David Attenborough, which can be found on Netflix if you're allowed it in your centres. And then finally, we have the CLIL project. So relating it then to different subjects. Doesn't have to be the one that we have allocated sort of in this section. You can link it to any subject that you like. You could link it to geography, history, art even, etc., etc. Thank you, Romana. Our Planet. Yes, that's on YouTube. That's a really good one as well. Really good to relate it. And then finally, then we have the portfolio. So the portfolio pages promote independent and collaborative learning opportunities for students to develop their creative and critical thinking skills whilst they create and expand their own portfolio. So we know how important it is that students feel a sense of agency and ownership over their learning. The more that they do themselves and the more active they are in their learning, the deeper their learning becomes. When learning is passive, you know, when they are filling in worksheets and not really taking ownership of their learning, it can easily be forgotten. But when they feel the sense of agency and they have independence, they are creative and critical, they make progress much quicker. So in these portfolio pages at the end, it really offers opportunities for them to develop these skills. So that is our 12-page pattern. And now you'll see this reflected in the next unit and the following unit and the following unit, etc. Okay. Now, one of the reasons why this is really nice is because we know that young learners like routine. We know that they do well when they are confident, they know what's coming up next. So that we feel that this pattern of a repetitive structure for each unit really helps the learners engage not only with the characters and with the book itself, but with the language as well and with their process of learning the language. So just to summarize then, teaching with Superminds, I would like you to think, please, 3 things that you know about Superminds, 2 ideas that you would like to try out in your classes, and then 1 resource that you think you will use from the Cambridge support section. Okay, again, if you can write, you know, just 1 or 2 suggestions or answers in the chat, that would be amazing. Or if you'd prefer to self-reflect, that's also fine. But we would love to hear your ideas. So you got 3, 2, 1 in the chat, and we can discuss them in 1 minute's time. So I will give you a couple of minutes to write down what you think. Thank you, Iris. I'll answer that perhaps in the Q&A at the end. Okay, so don't go anywhere. Raquel, 3 things. It's creative, it's challenging, and it's interesting. Totally. Classroom activities booklet. The predicting, yeah, the crystal ball is a good one, isn't it? Romana, engaging digital tools. The portfolio is a new challenge for my 7-year-olds, 100%. The dyslexia materials look interesting. Yeah, there's you know, there's lots on the website and also on the blogs as well. If you have a look at the blogs, yeah. You're using Superminds right now. It's super dynamic. Yeah, as I said, you've got that sort of video game element to it. It's quite fast paced, but at the same time, there's lots of support available. Bringing them closer to the characters, yeah, it's really good skill for them to empathize and to identify with a character, makes them feel closer to the course book, and ultimately better at English and making progress really quickly. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing everything in the chat box. I really appreciate your answers and love hearing about everything that you've learned today. So actually that's everything from me. So I just want to say a big thank you for being on this journey with us. And I hope that you have found it really useful. Just a quick summary, we have looked at all of the online resources. We have looked at a unit pattern in Superminds, and you will get a follow-up certificate with all of the links that we have looked at today and a recording of the session in a follow-up email. So before I launch a poll, I'm just going to remind you that if you are teaching other course books as well, or if simply you just are interested in different books, then you have the other sessions as well. Okay, so I'm going to launch a poll for you. If you wouldn't mind just giving us a little bit of feedback, that would be great. And then I'm also going to answer your questions as well. You're welcome, Daniel. Fantastic. Okay, and then I'm going to have a look at your Q&A then. Okie dokie. So here we go. Does Superminds come with a student book and workbook? Yes, it does. If you would like to get a copy, please do contact your local ELT coordinator, your ELT consultant, and they'll be able to get that over for you. To watch the videos and listen to the audio, is there a class audio CD, or do I download the files from the teacher's book? Yes, you will get the audios and the videos from Cambridge 1. Okay, I will just add that in there. Cambridge 1 in the presentation plus section is where you'll get them. Okay, so I've just sent that to you as well, but just to let everyone know, the videos are available on presentation plus on Cambridge 1. If books 1 and 2 are both for pre-A1 level, which one should I choose? Is there any difference between Kidsbox and Superminds? And actually, I think the other question is about Superminds and Kidsbox as well. I think talk to your local ELT consultant, because you'll be able to ask some specific questions about your context. I'm not sure of, how many hours you have for English, or your goal as a center. Superminds is a little bit more sort of competencies focused. Kidsbox has a little bit more of an exam focus. So those are perhaps the main differences. But I would say that if you have chance, contact your local ELT consultant, and they'll be able to really dive deep into your context and offer you a little bit more information. But those are the main differences. Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And again, just once again, thank you so much. Goodbye.